In this week's AMT Fresh Produce Market overview made possible by Fieldnet Pivot Watch, we focus on the potato market with a lot of speculation about the price that can increase over the next few weeks. I will share my thoughts on where this market can go and for how long it can likely stay there. All in this week's episode, so make sure to stay tuned. The rand stayed on a stronger level of 17.87 Rand per US dollar and is hovering at over a one-year high, mostly due to a weakening dollar and the increased likelihood of an interest rate cut that we will likely see in September and again in November. Brent crude oil price futures traded lower on $77.06 per barrel on Monday as OPEC is planning to increase production over the next quarter. The increase, starting most likely in October, will see 4 OPEC members raise output by 180,000 barrels per day. There's also demand concerns which were heightened after China's factory activity dropped to a 6-month low in August. Over in the vegetable markets, we saw the average national potato price increasing by about 11% to 83.10 Rand per 10 kg, with volumes 3% higher week on week. The large potato price traded higher last week on 93, mediums on 81 and smalls higher on 60 Rand per 10 kg. Mondials also traded higher on 87, Cifras higher on 89 and Lenormas on 76, with the average price on the Joburg market increasing to 81.41 Rand per 10 kg. To compare the current situation with last year, when we also saw prices that increased drastically, last year reaching 120 Rand per 10 kg, the drop in volumes only came in the 4th and 5th week of September and prices that reacted as a result. In 2021, the lowest volumes were also reported in the 3rd and 4th weeks of September. We are, however, seeing more volumes on the markets at this moment compared to both these years, which could limit the upward movement of the price over the next few weeks. I, however, still think we will see higher prices and lower volumes over the second part of September, but the effect of this drop in volumes will definitely be short-lived, as volumes will likely start to pick up soon after this drop, most likely from the start of October again. I'm also starting to think that the effect on prices can be slightly less when compared to 2021 and 2023. The average onion price remained in its downward trend, decreasing by 1% to 55.42 Rand per 10 kg, with brown onions on 52.50 Rand, red onions decreased to 95 Rand, while white onion prices stayed on 55 Rand per 10 kg. The average large onion price stayed on 53 Rand, mediums on 62 and smalls decreased to 39 Rand per 10 kg. I still think we can follow a similar trend compared to last year, when onion prices came from higher levels during May and June and then continued to decrease towards the end of the year. I still think that we can move below the 50 Rand mark next month, or at least over the last part of this month, and then stay on a low level until December. Tomatoes price increased by 6% the past week to 12.06 Rand per kilogram, with volumes decreasing by 3%. Large tomatoes traded on 12.84 Rand, mediums on 12.17 Rand, while smalls increased to 10.76 Rand. We are expecting volumes to the markets to pick up from here on out, which could result in prices to trade lower during September and October of this year. The average carrot price decreased by 7% to 4.30 Rand per kilogram, while volumes increased by 14% week on week. Large carrots traded on 4.45 Rand, mediums lower on 3.90 Rand and smalls also lower on 3.26 Rand per kilogram. We had really high carrot volumes over the past 2 months and is expecting this volumes to stay on a higher level for now, which could keep prices closer to the 4 Rand mark for now. The average pepper price increased to 20.01 Rand per kilogram, while green pepper prices increased by more than 20% to 16.13 Rand. Yellow pepper prices increased to 14.48 Rand, while red pepper prices traded 12% higher on 37.09 Rand per kilogram. We're expecting slightly lower prices as we move towards the middle of this month, and demand will likely decrease. If you're heading to Nampo Cape this year, don't miss the thematic stall. They are at stand 119 and can show you exactly how Fieldnet Pivot Watch can make your life easier. Fieldnet Pivot Watch. Monitor any pivot, anytime, anywhere. The average cabbage price decreased to R3.80 last week and is now 88% higher compared to a year ago. We're also now in a significantly higher price level when compared to the previous 4 years, even though volumes are currently at its highest level as well. We're expecting this price therefore to move in a downward trend and trade below R3 again towards the end of this year. Garlic prices increased to R98 per kilogram and is also likely to stay in its downward trend for the rest of this year due to higher expected volumes soon. As expected, the spinach price decreased by 21% last week to R3.64, mostly due to 19% higher volumes on the markets. Traditionally, we see significantly lower spinach prices in September and October due to higher volumes on the markets over these months, so expect prices to decrease significantly over the next 2 months. Sweet potato prices decreased to R7.50 per kilogram and will likely follow potato prices higher over the next few weeks, and expect this price to stay on a higher level during October and November as well. The average pumpkin price decreased to R2.28 last week and will most likely also trade higher in September and October, but expect this price to decrease significantly in November again as more volumes can enter into the markets over that month. Over in the fruit markets, we saw the banana price increasing to R8.06 per kilogram, which is about R145 per 18 kilogram box, with volumes also increasing week on week. I still think that we can remain close to current price levels for the remainder of September, but that the price can jump in October to around R10 due to lower expected volumes over this period. The latest apple price stayed mostly sideways on R10.69 last week and is now 9% higher than a year ago. If we remain on last year's price trend, we can possibly move above the R13 mark in November when prices are expected to trade at its highest level of the year. The latest pear price decreased to R10.28 per kilogram and is 9% higher than a year ago. This price will likely remain sideways in September, but can also start to increase significantly from October until December due to lower volumes over this period. The orange price increased slightly to R5.86 the past week, with volumes that decreased by about 8% week on week, and this price will most probably only see significantly higher or trade significantly higher from October onwards, when we usually see the supply on the markets decreasing significantly. The Avo price increased by 6% to R21.56 per kilogram last week, with volumes 2% lower week on week. Fieldnet traded significantly higher on R29.90, Haas traded lower on R14.31, while Pinkertons increased to R17.62. If we follow a similar price trend as in 2020, we can stay in an upward trend for now, at least until November, but not necessarily move past the R30 mark this year due to the fact that we are in a high volume season, which could limit the upward potential of this price. The average table grape price increased to R66.98, pineapples traded higher on R12.47, lemons increased to R5.92, while the average blueberry price traded 3% lower on R66.94 per kilogram. We are expecting the blueberry price to move closer to the R30 mark per kilogram towards the end of the year when we see higher volumes on the markets. This video is made possible by Fieldnet Pivot Watch. Visit our website at amtrends.co.za for more detailed reports, prices and videos. I'm Dr. Johnny van der Merwe and thank you for watching.